Today's episode is brought to you by DeSanto Propane. DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane. For FingerLakes1.com, I'm Josh Durso, and this is FLX Today. This morning, we are continuing our series spotlighting contested races on the ballot across the region. Jean Chrisman is running for Ontario County Clerk, and she joins us this hour to talk about her campaign. Jean, thanks so much for taking the time today. Why are you running for clerk?
Well, I find this a great opportunity for me to transition from a town clerk position into a county clerk position. A county clerk needs to have good communication skills, organizational skills, leadership skills, and the respect of the people around you. A county clerk needs experience in handling multi-millions of dollars on an annual basis. And I think this is a great opportunity for me to grow upon my 26 years of local government experience into the county clerk's office. I will work with my staff and the residents on a one-on-one basis like I do today to help them achieve their goals and what they're trying to do. And then it's been unfortunate that the staff in the county clerk's office and the DMV has experienced some rough roads in the past several months. And they need someone to lead those offices with experience and leadership skills. And the public deserves a county clerk who will not only execute the functions of that office, but will also be accessible and open to new ideas and improved processes. And I have all those skills, and I think I'd be a great fit for that position.
When you think about your more than 2 decades of experience, what kind of stands out to you as some of the important moments that make you feel ready for this now, this new challenge?
I think I've learned a lot in the last 26 years. The time has gone by very quickly. But I think what I've learned the most is the importance of listening to my residents and helping them through permitting processes, explaining their tax bills, explaining the need, why they need to have the rabies vaccinations to license their dogs, or even helping them through obtaining a marriage license in New York State. That's been the most important thing that has stood out to me, is the ability to listen and then explain the processes to the residents.
Do you tend to find, as you're out talking to folks in the community, that most people aren't quite aware of just how much the county clerk is actually responsible for in the grand scheme?
Honestly, I don't think people have a clue what the county clerk is responsible for. There's many, many tasks. I mean, yes, we're the clerk to the courts, so we work very closely with the county courts to get all their paperwork filed. We help with the sheriff's department and the state with permits for pistol permits. The county clerk, a lot of people don't know that they oversee the Department of Motor Vehicles and everything, those operations as well. I think it's going to be a big educational experience and challenge to educate all the residents in Ontario County of all the aspects of what the county clerk is responsible for doing.
When you're talking to residents, going door to door, that sort of thing is what happens when you're on the campaign trail. What do you hear as like maybe the 1 or 2 big concerns that residents do have about the clerk's office?
Accessibility, especially in the Geneva area. A lot of people are concerned and a little upset that the Department of Motor Vehicles office over there closed a few years ago. So I definitely want to look into the possibility and working with the county administration and the Board of Supervisors to see what happened there and to see what we can do to reopen that office. But also, if we're going to do that, I'd like to expand county clerk office duties over there. So attorneys and people who need to file easements or property deeds or property sales, we can do that in the Geneva area And then they can, instead of having to come all the way over to Canandaigua to take care of their business.
Ontario County is a very large, diverse county, one that has a couple bigger urban centers, obviously a town that's growing significantly, or a couple towns in Victor and Farmington, but then very rural parts of the county as well. How do you balance that? And what do you think the plan of attack would be in terms of making sure that services are spread throughout the county, or at least available at a convenient enough level to everybody throughout the county?
Very good question. You are correct. Our county is very diverse, from access to transportation to financial abilities. I think what we need to do is listen to see what the residents of Ontario County, what their needs are, be it that we expand DMV services into Geneva, Victor, or maybe even doing some satellite offices, or even a mobile DMV. And then maybe along with that, we can do a mobile county clerk office as well. So I think we need to find out exactly what those needs are, and then address those and implement a plan to address those issues.
To that end, a lot of folks are going to hear that and think to themselves, this might break the bank. How do you do that without, just throwing a ton of money at something that it's a problem and a challenge, but it has to be done in a responsible way, right?
Absolutely. So you first have to look at what the needs are, and then you have to evaluate how can we achieve that, and work with your peers, not only at county administration, but the board of supervisors, and really kind of look at more of a capital plan over years and see how we can implement those things a little by little each year. Maybe the first couple of years there's satellite offices, and then maybe down the road we can apply for grants through the records management software, New York State Archives, to get grants to help pay for those additional services.
Do you feel like there's opportunity there with grants?
I do. I just closed out a grant last year for a records management grant at the town of Canandaigua. We are beginning to digitize all of our paper records into digital format. So yes, grants are available out there. I would work with our county administration and my peers to find out which ones are best. I would also reach out to my fellow county clerks to see what grants that they have been able to apply for and were awarded, and do things that way.
Obviously, Ontario County is one of the few in the region that is growing, one of the few in the state, frankly, that's growing in population. And that doesn't mean it's not susceptible to the population decline issues. Smaller communities in the county are still shrinking at the end of the day. Do you have any concerns longer term, or even medium to long term, about potential responsibilities that may inevitably fall on the county clerk's office as some of these communities do get smaller and perhaps have to look at shared services as options, or just a matter of like financial existence moving forward?
Good question. So I think with my experience as a town clerk, I know what the challenges are at the town level, and certainly would be open to ideas of shared services if there's anything that the county clerk's office can do within the staffing level that we have to assist those communities. We'd certainly be open to helping them out.
All right, let's talk customer service, because I think when most people who are watching or listening think about the county and customer service, they immediately think about the DMV, and it probably isn't the best experience. When I say improve customer service, you've mentioned that as being a pillar of your campaign. What does it mean to you? What do you want to make? How do you want to improve customer service if you're elected?
So one of the things that I want to make sure is that my staff is trained appropriately and on an annual basis. Training is very important to me. I've always attended training on an annual basis, whether I was a zoning officer or as a town clerk. Training, sometimes you learn something new. Sometimes you'll say, wow, I forgot I needed to do that. And also it just reinforces your knowledge. So I think staff training is a big portion of that. We also need to look at the layout of the Department of Motor Vehicles to make sure the layout is efficiently running. and then go from there and just take a look at different things in those areas.
Do you think more or the same amount of technology could or should be leveraged moving forward?
In the Department of Motor Vehicles?
For the clerk's office as a whole, can technology, can things be digitized more, or do you think they're kind of on the right path now as it stands?
I think things could be digitized more, but we also have to keep in mind the idea of fraud as well. So looking at digitizing deeds, abstracts, those kinds of things, that information is out there, but how much of that do we make available through the website? Again, we need to keep in mind that there's criminals out there that are going to use that information to steal people's properties out from underneath them. And before you can do that, you need to put in the safeguards so that does not happen. In the Department of Motor Vehicles, I'm hearing that they've got the most up-to-date software. Of course, it's New York State software, so we really don't have any levy over that as to changes. But at the New York State County Clerks Association level, we can definitely work together as a team to make improvements to those softwares and to the forms themselves, which can be quite confusing.
You mentioned it, and I think a lot of people will have that question. So address that the best you can here, with your experience as well. How much can a clerk at a town or county level, how much control do they really have versus having to do the work that the state says needs to be done and the way the state says it needs to be done?
So a county clerk is not a policy-making position. It is a position, just like a town clerk, where we are given the rules and regulations to follow at the local level and at the state level. And we have to be very diverse in being able to balance those and to enforce and to help the residents through those processes. So do we as an organization at the state level, we do have some leverage there, and we can work with our legislatures to change those regulations to better serve our residences.
Is there anything that stands out to you, maybe that has become a responsibility of town or county clerks that New York State has set out over the last handful of years that is a kind of challenge to navigate present day, or has it maintained kind of the status quo?
I mean, there's been little things here and there. But most things are status quo. I mean, one of the latest things is at the town level, we now issue one-day marriage officiant licenses. So that is new this year. We do get the benefit of the $25 per license revenue on that. None of that goes back to the state. But those are the little things that make a bigger impact on any office, or the small regulations versus the larger regulations.
Last question here for you. If voters should remember one thing about your campaign or your candidacy, and why they should vote for you, what is that one thing you'd like to leave with voters?
I think the leadership, the open door policy. I'm here to help you. I'm here to listen to you. And I'm here to assist you in any way that we can. And I will work with my staff to make sure that they are on the same page as me. And we're here to help them through every process that they need.
Jean, appreciate the time. Thanks so much for taking it today.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this edition of FLX Today. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this one, check out the show on your favorite podcast platform or subscribe to the FingerLakes1.com YouTube channel. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.